And let's see how long it takes. In 3, 2, 1, fire. Nope, nothing
Not yet.
Interesting.
That's me.
Oh, there it is. It just flipped. You see that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow. What's up? Oh, you say what's up?
No, I was saying that one is.
That's you?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You got a piece of cookie right there.
I do? Yeah. Oh, man.
So, anyway.
I'll be right back.
Where you going? Alrighty then. So, hey, who's here? I'm by myself. Not really. Diane made the mistake of eating cookies.
Hey!
Oh, I can't say it out loud before we go on the air. And no, you're not first, but hello. The first is Maria is first. Yes. Cookies, yes. She made some chocolate chip cookies. And just like when I went to my dentist at one time and ate something before I got there, I got chewed out from my hygienist saying that, what is the heart for? What does that mean? What does that heart with the cross in it mean? I'm just curious. So, no, she's here. She's not again. She's not left on the side. Yes, much better. All right, there she is. I stalled long enough.
Hello.
She didn't want to sit there and talk to you with a cookie in her mouth the whole time.
What does again mean?
No, he thought that you were not, just you and nobody
Oh,
else.
I just was running.
On the side of the road.
And that I was about to make my way home.
Catch up. So,
what's up, guys?
You gotta get closer because you're like way off the edge of the screen there. There we
Well,
go.
that's because you're...
I'm what?
Nothing.
Wait, what does that mean? The cross, the heart with the cross in it?
No.
What does that mean? Does
Red
anybody
cross?
tell me? Red cross? No. No, not marijuana cookies. Is that what that means?
What, marijuana cookies?
Well,
no, it says cookies.
No, that.
Oh.
I love cookies. Oh, that's what he means. He loves cookies. Yes. Well, what kind of cookies do you love, Dave? From State Farm.
That's Jake.
Oh, never mind. I guess he isn't ready yet. What kind of cookie you like, Dave? Anyway, we want to talk to you about a few things while Dave decides what cookies he likes the most. And one of the things we want to talk about is right now in San Francisco, there's a huge protest on the Bay Bridge. They have the Bay Bridge shut down. Hello, Uncle Bradley.
Nope, they did not ask if we were carrying forbidden fruits.
Forbidden fruits?
That's what.
No, that's only, you know what the funny thing about the forbidden fruits and going into California? They only look for people from like way out like New Mexico. They don't really bother Arizona that much. But if you have the wrong kind of fruits in your car, that could be, they will confiscate it, which is the weirdest thing in the world. To pull up to a checkpoint. They're protesting Black Lives Matters. So what I understand is, though, from looking at some of the video, it wasn't like people marched on the bridge. It's like people turned their cars sideways to block traffic.
But were people then marching on the bridge or no?
I didn't see a huge crowd of people marching. I saw like people arm in arm with those little things in there where they had their arms tied up together. It looked like it, but it was from a helicopter, so I'm not sure. And did he tell us what kind of cookies he likes yet? Nope. We're still waiting. Hello,
what's up, Jeanette?
What you doing? Nope, never mind. I don't want to know. I don't want to know if you
No,
watching.
you don't want me to fall. You don't want me to fall on the floor.
We don't want you to.
Is your phone charged this time?
Yes. I'm doing better this time.
Dang, putting you on what?
I know. He just. No, my phone was charged last time, but when you do.
I think he's talking about the podcast you had a couple of days ago.
Yes, and it was charged, but it wasn't charged enough. It happens. And plus, I need to eat dinner.
That's true. I had just made him dinner, and then I just put it right in front of him while he was doing a podcast.
And I started to eat, and I realized how rude that is to eat while I'm trying to talk. So.
Can anyone guess what the back of Stanley's hat is?
Oh, somebody's going to know. Because if they know me, they already know. I bet you Gabriel knows. What letter is on the back of my hat? Is it the letter W? Is it the letter...
Wow, really? Yes, I cooked dinner.
The letter P?
And don't tell him what the dinner was.
Is it the letter...
Wow, Gabriel doesn't know something for the first time.
Letter C? Jeanette, yes, Jeanette should know. Philadelphia, of course.
Born and raised on the playground is where I spent most of my days.
Really? Does that look like Will Smith to you?
Yes.
Really? So we saying we all look alike?
No.
All right. Anyway, so that's what's going on right now on the Bay Bridge. We're also going to talk about, we've been kind of binge watching because we're trying to social distance still because there's been huge spikes
There's a spike in cases.
in coronavirus.
Yeah.
And I read yesterday that in a lot of restaurants that just opened, their workers are contracting COVID-19. And so they're re-shutting down the stores.
Some of the restaurants.
Some of the restaurants. Well, isn't it really a store? They sell you food. They just give it to you on a plate. Right? You know, like you go and pick like fruit and put it in a bag and go out like this. But technically it's the same thing, except for this time they cook it for you. So technically it's a store. And I'm sticking with that story. What?
Nothing.
All right. So today is question day. If you have a question, tell us your question and we'll try to answer it. If it's not a good question, we will pass and we will move on to the next person.
There's no such thing as a bad question.
Oh, back to binge watching while we're waiting for the questions to come in. So I've been kind of like MIA because I got hooked on.
Queen of South.
Yeah, I'm almost done with the 4 seasons. What is a question day? A question day is when we let you give us a question and we try to answer it if we choose to. We don't have to answer it. We're not obligated to answer it, and we may not answer it. But at least we give you a chance
Just
to ask
giving you
it.
the option.
Well, question day is sponsored by Battleships.
Oh my gosh. So his daughter Brooke gave him that for Christmas. Was it 2 Christmases ago?
Yeah, this is I'm the guy who gets the worst gifts ever. I'm sorry, that's not the worst gift ever.
That's not a bad gift.
But really, can I be like, you shuck my battleship? I mean, what the hell? That was our sponsor today, Battleships. Say what? Yeah, I know. Dave said that's my joke. Oh, what is a question day? And I answered it, Dave. I answered it. Didn't I?
Maria.
Yeah, she said, hey, watch it with that language, Maria. I say you got a turd on there. Spray that off of there, clean it. Do you have a P.O. box or something for birthday gifts? I know your birthday is soon. I don't have an actual P.O. box because I've always had a station box to have it sent to. But now that I don't have a station, that creates a problem.
That does create a problem.
Oh man.
So the short answer there is no.
Cash only. Sorry, you got to use my my birthday app. What was it?
Cash app.
My Cash app.
Or if you have Venmo, you can do it for me.
You have Venmo?
I do.
When did you get Venmo?
I got Venmo.
Well, you hiding all your millions from me again? Is that what you're doing? Is that what all the secret stuff is?
I have no millions. If I had millions, things would be different.
You know what a millionaire would say?
What?
I don't have millions.
Anyways, okay, so you're binge watching Queen of South.
Yeah,
Has anybody seen that?
It's addictive.
It's on Netflix, but it's a USA original, right?
Why is this?
Patron?
Patron? No, she means patron. Like if you get a website that makes money.
Oh, I thought she was like, oh, do you want Patron for your birthday?
No, you know what though? Facebook has sort of a, am I right with the Patron thing? Yeah, Patreon. See, she spelled it right there. And so if you haven't watched it, be careful. It is addictive. It's so much going on that if you don't pay attention, you lose track of stuff. So you got to really, watch it with a keen eye. I mean, of course, you can play it back. I liked it, and I'm not finished watching it. We actually downloaded Roots on Hulu, and so we're watching that. The new Roots. I never knew there was a second version of it. Not Next Generation, but the 2017 version.
2016.
2016.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is produced by the same gentleman who was in the first
LeVar Burton.
LeVar Burton. Yeah.
He was one of the executive
Mr.
producers,
Reading
I think.
Rainbow, who went off on the internet. And
For an understandable reason.
yeah, I know, but I mean, like, whoa, you know what the shit hit
I know, because it's like LeVar Burton. Like, I don't expect that from
shit hit the fan
him.
when Reading Rainbow is cursing on Twitter.
I'm mad that you're calling him Reading Rainbow and his name is LeVar Burton.
Yeah, Reading
He was
Rainbow.
also on Star Trek.
You know what, him?
The Next Generation.
Okay, but him cursing on the internet is like, what's that, the dinosaur Barney smoking a joint.
Wow.
It's like, it's really, they made weed legal when Barney is puffing on a fatty.
Wow,
What is this? I am you and you are me.
No, the song is I love
Oh
you.
yeah, I love you. You love me. Hey, what's up, Christian? I love you. You love me.
Also, Gabriel said after you left the podcast on Thursday, the same person who said you oh my gosh, I forgot about that. What the hell?
We'll ask the host for his social security number. Yeah.
I was like in the background listening to that.
Yeah, so this next section is being sponsored by, now here's an interesting one. So here's my sponsor. Okay? So now it's actually called purple rice, but it's also called black rice. And it's very high in antioxidants. It's about, this bag here is about $5, so it's not cheap. But I will tell you this. Whenever I tell people that I eat black rice, they think I'm making a racial joke. They go, ah, ha, 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 black rice, ha, ha, you funny. I'm like, no, it's an actual thing. And yes, it's very good. I love it. And what did he say? You should your daughter gift you showed earlier as a sponsor.
You did show that.
I did show it as a sponsor. Didn't you not pay it? See, Gabriel?
Black rice, purple rice is really good. If you guys are ever in Phoenix and there is a does it take long to make?
Actually does take longer to cook.
About 35 minutes.
This is according to let me read here. So this one's a little different. So it takes this one 45 minutes. So this one takes it's no instant rice. It takes about 45 minutes to cook. It's high in antioxidants.
So you don't have an oxidant.
You don't have an oxidant. You're free from oxidants.
That's your joke, dude.
Yeah. It's natural source. It has more than blueberries. I love it. I cook with it all the time.
And if you ever are in Phoenix, there's a sushi place called Harumi Sushi that uses purple rice. Oh, so good! If you guys love sushi,
we go there all the time, and they make it. Yeah, it's just like. And here's the best thing: you can eat purple. I'm not diabetic. Just get that in the air because people seem to think I am. You can eat that, and it doesn't really bother you because it digests differently than white rice or something else that you probably couldn't eat if you're diabetic. And if you don't believe me, I'm not a doctor, so don't quote me, eat some and then have a diabetic shock. But I'm saying that it keeps from lowering your blood, it keeps from raising your blood sugar really fast, too quick, or whatever it is that causes diabetes. When you are out shooting segments, do you carry a weapon with you in case you get attacked? Come back here. Where are you going?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was off the screen. I was just changing position. I was trying to sit up.
Are you about to fall on the floor and start laughing?
No.
To answer your question, no. When I work for a network, one of the rules of engagement are you cannot carry a weapon and while you're working. So normally, when I was in the Bay Area, I had a bodyguard. And his job, and unlike most bodyguards that stand right next to you, I always told him to, you didn't see him. He was always there, but you wouldn't know he was there. I had him blend in, so that way he wasn't like some guy standing over me making an eye. But he was good at what he did, and sometimes I would have more than one. It depended on where I went. Out here, I didn't have a bodyguard because I'm still pretty new out here, so I didn't, quote unquote, piss off a lot of people yet. But my security details were, they were great. And they were always right on top of it, and I felt safe with them. Sometimes I had a really big guy. Sometimes I had a guy who looked like some normal guy that you see walking down the street, but he was packing, and he was trained to keep me safe. And I preferred I like when I had because it gave me an extra set of eyes. But they had orders for me not to get involved in any altercation unless it looked like it was changing direction. and on 2 occasions it changed direction. No, in the Bayview, I've never had a bodyguard in the Bayview. I've always been bodyguardless in the Bayview. I would have a bodyguard in areas that were known for a lot of gun violence. But yes, some people say the Bayview was like that. But I ran into, what's Michael Epps' cousin's name?
Omar Epps?
No, he has another one.
Mike
he was
Epps.
a Michael. He did a lot of stuff in the Bay Area. So there's another. So Michael Epps has a son, a brother or cousin. I'm not sure, but his name is Epps as well. He's a filmmaker, and he does little independent films. Good guy. We ran to each other one day, and he asked me. He says, "What do you see there?"
No, it just says.
Yeah, not Omar, another Epps, and he said to me that, "Hey, dude, you're bigger than this, or you're bigger than that. That's why you don't have to worry about the Bayview." But I never really thought about. At Beta Breakers, I never had a bodyguard at Beta Breakers because there was just so many people. Normally, I had a bodyguard if I were in a situation where there's a possibility of going sideways, like I'm in an area that is known for whatever reason. But since I had so many death threats, and what do you say?
Thomas, making purple rice.
I read it. So I'm not going to go into details as to where the security was, because if I ever, have security, and you don't want to give up the secrets of who's watching you, because in some cases, it's better the less you know, the better it is. And AKA my parents, nope, in the hood, in the Fillmore, never. It was just certain areas that I couldn't go in without security. I was told that I'm not allowed to go in without security. Now, ironically, there was a riot along I was going to go on with law enforcement in one city, and the people who do the insurance for what I do were so worried about my safety that they wanted me to have a bodyguard along with the cops that I was with. And
that's weird.
And well, this is a situation that was almost guaranteed to have some kind of gunplay. And so the difference from being in the Bay Area was that I can set up ride-alongs with any agency that would willing to deal with me, but in Arizona, I had to get the lawyers were so different that every ride-along I had to get approved by a lawyer before I can go do it, which made my job harder because I couldn't do certain things under their guidelines. So I couldn't participate. If there was a police chase, I couldn't be in a police chase. I had to be something other than that. So I had to make sure and vouch that, hey, my ride-along is this and this we're doing, and it's nothing to do with chasing a car. Although, keep in mind, I'm in a police car. I don't have any control over what happens. And if things go sideways, they either have to kick me out the car or I'm in for the ride. Mm-hmm. And people don't understand that the danger of what I do, there's some danger and there's some fun to it. The danger part is that, people have guns, and people aren't afraid to shoot other people. And they aren't afraid to shoot cops, which is even more crazy than I've ever seen in my life, is that there used to be respect, but that respect for some other has kind of fizzled for some people, but not all. So it's interesting, but it's even more interesting when, you're by yourself out somewhere and you have no bodyguard, and you realize that you're exposed. So did I carry when I was by myself? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But when I'm at work, I don't carry because it's against company policy. And I can't break the rules to tell you what rules you can't cover. I can't break the rules and tell you not to break the rules. So I have to rely on being cool about it. Yeah, I've been doing this for a long time. And I've been attacked a few times. And yes, I did have a California CCW, one of the rare ones. I was able to get one. But if you get letters from people that are handwritten that says, if you do something one more time, you're going to answer to me.
Oh my gosh. What? Gabriel, there's an issue with your claim that Cronford called you for a job interview while you were playing golf. There were no cell phones in the 1990s.
Wow.
Yeah, there were.
Yeah, there were cell phones.
Yes, there were cell phones in the 90s.
Wow, really? I had one of those ugly bricks.
We had one of those big cellular cell phones.
I had one that I got a phone bill for $700 for one of those phone bills one time. It was like a huge phone, trying to drive and switch gears.
Big cell phones that are now bigger than people's house phones.
Bob Jones seemed to think I was snitching on folks, But you can't snitch on people if they're doing it in public. Snitching, see, look at the definition of snitching. The definition of snitching is to get to tell on someone else to keep yourself from being in trouble. I was never in trouble. If you do it out in public and I can see it, that's not snitching. You do it out in public.
If you do it out in public, then anybody can see it.
True, and you were not involved. You were not true, and you were not involved. Right, and I'm not involved. So by not being involved means that I'm not snitching. You know, I mean, if you're stupid enough to do something, you know, I have an old saying: if you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And if you're out there doing stupid shit, okay. So one of the people I catch doing stuff, yeah, you're not snitching if it's on public property, exactly. And one of the things I have an issue I come with people is like, hey, they come over to the camera to tell me to get the camera out their face. Why would you run?
Instead of just walking away.
Why would you run 2 blocks to tell me to get the camera out your face? I never understood that. And I think, but let's switch gears for a second.
Okay, say what's up to Felix.
Hello, Felix. And what does Felix?
He says, good to see you guys. The world is hurting right now. For a change, I went out to eat chicken fajita plate at Unamas. Enjoyed the sunset and outside patio. Ooh, yeah. That sounds nice.
Yeah, I like what they said. Don't hate the play, I hate the game. Yeah, but you know, the funny thing about my job is, you know, these right now you see all these quote unquote Karens and Joe Billy Bobs and going out other people what they doing. Do you know that I used to have that happen to me at least once a month? When I was shooting in San Francisco, that someone would call the cops on me. It got to the point where I was wanting to put it in every story I've ever done and people are like, well, you can't include this in every single story because now it's just like, it happens so often. And when I say once a month.
And mind you, he's just doing his job.
I'm trying to be kind about it. The truth is that it happened more than it should have been. There was one case where someone called the cops on me, you ready for this? While I was with the cops. They called the cops they called Highway Patrol, and I did a story, you can find it somewhere, to tell them that there was a BMA, which stands for Black Male Adult, holding an officer at gunpoint on the 280 freeway in San Francisco. The call came out while I'm in the car with the officer who was Officer...
No, you were standing out.
No. We were in the car when the call came out.
Oh, okay.
And it was... So we just came from a traffic stop. And no, I don't usually have the cops with me, Bob. Bob, normally I do stuff without... I didn't start incorporating cops until later down the line when I realized that I can get a little bit more access with stuff that I need to know about. And they are the experts, I'm not. So I rely on their work expertise to tell me what they're doing. So what I was saying was, so we were on a traffic stop on the 280 freeway heading towards Daly City. And he had one of those new white cars. He had one of those newer white cars that were all supposed to be hands-free. So we're doing our story. I'm shooting with the camera that I have, which isn't it's, some people call it a huge camera, but it's not that huge. So they thought the camera was a gun. And so they called up and told them that I was holding the officer I was with. And it was William Vu from San Francisco office. And so this is what made it weird. So we got back in the car and we heard the call go down, but the car was hands-free. And it still was new to the agency. So they're still trying to figure out and work out the bugs. And unfortunately, one of the bugs was that the radio wasn't operating. It froze up. So we couldn't use the computer to do anything because it just froze. And they'd have to try to reboot it. And that was one of the problems of new stuff in hands-free. And then it went from, he tried to call. He got on his cell phone to call dispatch to tell them that there was no one holding on at gunpoint. That was me. So, and we had to pull over somewhere and reboot the whole car to get everything to work again. Read that, because I can't read it.
The person who hosted you on Thursday had a large camera on his dashboard once, which kind of looked like a gun, and had pulled over next to a school to take a call. The cops were called. Yeah, so it happens. I mean, but I've had the cops call to me for, they say people who I catch doing something they know they're not supposed to be doing. And if you know you're not supposed to do something, and then you act surprised when you get caught, that's not my fault. It's not. My job is to see what the problem is and see if it's really a problem. I get tips about stories, and my job is to go out and see if there's really a problem. 99% of the time when I get out there is a problem. And I gauge problems on, if I show up at an intersection and the first car I see runs a red light right in front of me, then I assume that that's a problem, because what are the odds that you show up at an intersection and the car that you drive near is all of a sudden decides I'm going to run a red light at that moment?
So if you see 3 at a time, that means, okay, it's a big problem because everybody's running the red lights. And so normally people will send me information, I'll check it out. And I don't just start shooting. I sit there in my car and I watch, sometimes for half an hour, sometimes for an hour. And I get upset with myself because I missed some key shots that I could have taken. I didn't take the shots because I want to see how bad it is. And then I talk to people who don't want to be on camera, and I ask them, tell me about this situation. You don't have to be on camera, just tell me what you know. And they tell me what they know, and then it turns out that the information I got, information I'm looking at, all matches up. So I go back with the information I have, which I don't write notes down. I have a photographic memory, so except for I'm running out of film. And so if you tell me something, I remember it and I write it down when I get back to the office, and I go back and look at what you told me.
You're not running out of film.
Okay. I feel like I am sometimes. And then I have to write the story, which a typical day for me would start at 8 a.m. out the door. I need to download more memory.
No, he doesn't, Gabriel.
Thank you, Kitty. Kitty said you're so pretty.
Oh, thank you.
Install. I need to install more memory. So now when it comes to the cops come and show up when they get calls. And it's, like I said, it's going to Karens. So they've called up and said, I'm videotaping little kids. And in San Bruno, 4 cops showed up. And then they realized it was me. In South San Francisco, they said I was casing a house. 1 cop pulled up, and then it turns out that he knew who I was, and we laughed about it. And we ended up doing it, riding together and pulling up some people for the same story I was covering, which was stop sign violators. What's that BART station, the one we just talked about the other day?
Glen Park.
Glen Park. I was out there shooting something at Glen Park, and a guy pulls up and tells me, and it costs me to tell me that I'm casing a bank. And he called 911 to tell 911 that I was outside of a bank casing it with a camera. So the cops had to show up for that. My percentage of cops in Phoenix is 0.001%. True story. 0.001%. I think I know personally 7 cops, personally. So now here's the one that got me the most. And this is, you can record this one and post it anywhere you want to. I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to set up. Because this one was crazy as the craziest story I've ever covered. I'm out with San Francisco Police Department, and they're doing a traffic sting on people not yielding or not stopping for school bus lights. And we were in a Tenderloin.
Oh. Wow. I think I remember this.
And one lady who did not want to be recorded, and I keep recording because if I don't keep recording, then you could say whatever you want to say, and then it's me to try to prove that it never took place. Because it's me against everybody else. So even if I have jobs that back what I do, they want to see the video to cover their butt so they don't get sued. This lady called the station to avoid being on TV and told my office, the department or station, that I physically assaulted her. Now, to physically assault someone means you put hands on them, which would be physically impossible because I was recording her talking to the cops. So unless I have these 7 foot arms, there's no way I touched her. But no one believed me. I had to prove that I didn't physically attack her. Now, to avoid, and she was blonde hair, blue eyes. Yes, she was. Now, to avoid, all this was to avoid being on TV. And since it was proof that she never was assaulted, I wanted to put her on TV because of that reason. And I was told that, no, we're not going to put her on TV. She has to stay off, even though I never touched her and she lied about me. And I've had, on multiple occasions, people have lied about the stories about what I was there for, and I'm really going off of right now because there's a lot I've never said before, and now I get a chance to say it. And I'm sorry if I'm taking away from your time.
Oh, no, you're not.
But this is what I put up with on a regular basis when I used to go out and cover these stories. People who did not want to be photographed. One lady called my station once, and she said, no, she never threatened a lawsuit because she had nothing to threaten for. I've had lawyers threaten me that he was going to sue me if I recorded him while he was behaving badly. Lawyer. And you know what I said to him? I said, hey, here's the number to my station. Here's the number. Give him a call. Because they think people are afraid of lawsuits. I'm not afraid of a lawsuit. Because when I catch you, I got you dead to rights. I let more people go on camera off the camera, just not put them on at all, because I wasn't 100% sure they were dead to rights. If I'm not 100% sure I got you, I don't put you on. That's where I've always been. And yes, people always yell, please don't film me. You know,
Christian says, I remember the guy on the motorcycle on the Bay Bridge.
Yes, another person.
That was the Golden Gate Bridge.
Golden Gate Bridge, and he made a U-turn to tell me to get the camera out of his face. He ran 50 yards.
Yeah, to say, get the camera out of my face.
To get the camera out of my face. He had a helmet on, a helmet that covered his whole face. He took the helmet off to tell me I was in his face as he ran over to me.
He made it worse for himself.
I mean, and then then he became homophobic. Yes, the bike, and he had no driver's license or insurance. I mean, come on, really? All you had to do was walk away.
All he had to do was ride away.
Didn't he get it? He got his car towed and a ticket. He got his car towed and a ticket on that one. Mm-hmm. You know, and the irony of this whole thing was not only was he homophobic, but he had the nerve to send me a letter a message a year later telling me to go F myself.
You think that's the most famous one ever? Wow.
Which one? That one?
She thinks that's the most famous one ever. I thought Elmo was the most famous one.
That one, the motorcycle one, gleamed almost 76 million views on YouTube, on Kron's channel alone. And on my YouTube channel, it had reached somewhere around 50 million. But I'm sure Gabe can tell you more. Now, the weird part is that he works for the U.S. government. He works for the Parks Department. And, you know, the truth is, that turn he made, that illegal U-turn, it might have been a brief mention in the segment.
But he made it 100 times worse when he rode back up ran back up to come to
And many times I would leave the station without an idea of what I'm doing. And then for some reason, Maureen Kelly, who works for Kron still, calls me a shit magnet because I could be somewhere and stuff just falls right in my lap. I mean, I've never seen something like this before in my life where I'm out there and she was with me one day, she goes, I'm never riding with you again because stuff just pops off around you. And when I do ride-alongs, a shit magnet is someone who they go out there and stuff just happens right in front of them. That's a cop thing between cops. They call themselves a shit magnet. You don't really want to be with a shit magnet because you know if you're lazy and boring, you don't want to be with a shit magnet. Because the minute you hit the door and everything's going nonstop. I worked with LAPD, a TV series. Every time we got in the car, something went down. Pursuits, shootings, you name it. That was fun. I'm sorry, I went off a little bit.
No, don't be sorry. You've got some more stuff. So, person Bebop in Valley says, lamest Rooney writer, the guy who had no past who said, you're just doing this because I'm white. Wow.
Yeah. So you can tell people who pay attention, yes.
I don't remember that one.
Well, let me tell you something else about doing these segments and doing it for the news. This is what you don't know. So when I posted those, I didn't get paid to post them on YouTube. I never got paid to put them on YouTube. I never got paid from being on YouTube. I put them on there for the love of letting you have the videos to watch. And I'm sorry they're not there anymore. And I'm sorry the account's not there anymore. But we're going to build a new account. So as we get more people, we will build this account and it'll be better. But that being said, people would call up YouTube and tell them that I violated their privacy by putting them on a video. And then YouTube would send me a demand notice to remove the video or else have my account revoked. Now, why did the video stay after they said that to me? Because I had to respond to each individual one myself on my own time to explain to them that I worked for a bona fide news organization. This was a bona fide news story, and we had every right to be there, and the person was in public. And and this is a tip for you, is that you can get around that if you can prove that it was a bona fide news story, which I could, because I can link them to the station and link them there, so it made it easier for me to do it. But if you're just doing it on your own and someone goes out and says you're violating their public, they're right. YouTube can and will take your videos down. YouTube might be able to get them back for you if not. We've been trying to figure out how to do that. If YouTube would just reactivate my account, which ironically, if you Google copyright, people behaving badly, you'll see my name there. I had a copyright, and under California law, the creator is the inventor in absence of a contract, and there was no contract ever. I never was under contract at Kron. ever. They never even offered me a contract till it was time for me to go, and then they thought it was important to give me one. But then they wanted to not give me what I needed to live. So if you're going to film, it's okay. But keep in mind that, read Google's terms of service. I mean, YouTube's terms of service.
Yeah.
Because if you film someone and they contest it, you can get a strike against your account, a copyright violation strike. And 3 of those, and they take your account out. Now, they usually warn you. In my case, I didn't get a warning. I just woke up one day and the account was gone. Only because someone texted me and said, hey, what happened to all your videos? I have no idea. Jeanette had learned how to do it by just using it from her, just shooting from a distance. Although, they're all in cars. It's kind of harder. And you don't have to blur license plates. And in some states, it's one-party consent. In other words, in Arizona, I can record your conversation and don't need your permission as long as I agree to that I want to record it. California is two-party. But that only applies for telephones. It doesn't apply for video. Unless
it doesn't?
Yeah, video. It doesn't apply for video if you're in a public place. You have the right to videotape. And unless there is a stipulation, unless you're catching a extremely personal conversation, then it becomes illegal. Somebody just wrote something.
Your services stuff makes for great entertainment. However, I will admit that it's too easy to make moving violations there.
Yeah.
Whether driving, cycle, or walking, so many laws.
Yeah, you know what though, and let's be realistic. Why do they make laws?
Why do they make laws? So that we have some sort of order.
Well, kind of, sort of.
Well, because everyone would just be doing whatever they want. People would just be getting in crashes.
So a lot of reasons why even laws are made in the first place is because someone did something to create a liability. And do California laws suck? No, I'm not going to say they suck. I'm thinking that unfortunately, because of so much litigation, the key word there is litigation, you can almost trace every law back to some kind of incident that took place that made them want to enact a law. Except for the ones back when they had you can't drive your car with dirty underwear. That was a San Francisco law. If you're going to walk your elephant down the street, it has to be on a leash. I don't know. That obviously came from someone who had an elephant and decided to walk it down the street without a leash back in the early 1900s. Laws are often created, again, due to litigation. And for instance, the helmet law, and there's something somebody just wrote, Gabriel. The helmet law in California was, if you trace it back, it goes back to insurance companies who were saying that there were so many head injuries because of people without wearing helmets that it's causing medical bills and prices to go up, and they're going to be bankrupt. So someone lobbied for this to become a law, and there you get the law.
There's no helmet law here.
There's no helmet law here because they just, Arizona, they don't want to make anything a law. They want to make it personal responsibility. Are we being overregulated in California? Maybe. It depends on how you look at it.
Well, the thing that I think is a little tough about California too is that it's such a big state, and if you're having like statewide laws, some of them are hard, I think, to kind of carry out in certain areas because California is so different. Even just northern and southern California are different.
Well, he has eye protection law, but no helmet law. Correct. Yes. So you have to have in Arizona. You can ride all day long with eye protection, which only means a pair of glasses, but no helmets are required. But you can't lane split here. Big fan, brother. Thank you, the medley. I appreciate that you're a big fan. Thank you, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so that way you can check in when we do it again. One of the things I find out from people is that they believe that the police department create laws.
Really?
Yes. How many people here think that the police department creates laws? Just show of hands.
I would have never thought that.
Yeah. Well, some people do. And I've shown it. I've done the test on Twitter. And people think, well, if the cops would make these laws so they can make money. The cops have nothing to do with making laws. Their job is law enforcement.
So I know who makes laws for real.
Right. So the laws are really made by criminals do. Yeah, well, if you do something long enough, then they make it a law. the union affects laws. The union can have some effect on laws if they feel as though that, yes, you're absolutely right. But are you talking about the police union or are you talking about labor unions? Which obviously is a labor union for the police department. But mostly it's lobbyists. So if Diane doesn't like something, let's say Diane does not like you to walk your elephant down the street without a chain. And she's tired of her neighbor coming down the street with that elephant every day with no chain on, just running down the street. So she calls up her politician or her council member or whoever it is, or her state senator, and says, hey, blah, 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 chain elephant. And he goes, well, and I have $1 million and I'll donate it to you if you get this thing pushed. And there you go. That's a lot. She just became a lobbyist.
It's always about that money.
It's always about the money. The way Cron aired you days ago with their Baxter and Second Story, remember the Q&A, the driving? Yeah.
Wait, they aired it on TV?
Yeah, the backstory.
Wait, they're still airing your stuff on TV?
They still got my website up. Money Talks, absolutely.
That's like an ex-girlfriend that won't go away.
That's like drinking. That's like putting sour milk in the refrigerator and then coming back a month later and thinking it's okay to drink.
And think that it. That's a bad example. And it just made me cringe because I imagine tasting sour milk.
Well, I can see it like, okay, let's say you got a wife, right? You divorce your wife because she was just an evil, mean person. And then you come back and you remarry your wife again. That's the same thing, sour milk.
You never learned the first time.
Yeah. Haven't watched Cron since they screwed you over. Well, Jeanette, you do live in New Mexico. It ain't like you can turn it on.
Felix said you looked younger.
When?
I don't know.
I am younger.
You looked younger.
Looked like in past tense. What does that mean?
Like as in like Cron stuff? Oh, like the story, what they aired.
Well,
you looked younger.
I'm aging. I aged 2 years for every Earth year.
Well, when did you do the DMV Q&A?
Oh God, that was with Art, and that was the one.
So that was like 2015.
That was Art shot that for me, and that was in El Cerrito at the El Cerrito DMV.
So that was like 5 years ago.
No, it wasn't that long ago. It might have been 3.
Okay.
What year was that one?
Well, he said he looked younger. So did you age a little bit?
Yeah.
I can't tell. You look the same to me.
I've been looking the same for the last 30 years.
Well.
That's what people tell me. You haven't changed a bit.
Well.
Hey.
Never mind. Oh my God.
Anyway, see, you asked a question, and you guys got me on. You guys had me on a tangent for a minute.
I love that tangent.
Woo.
That tangent, and some people don't know that story.
Yeah, I'm only 28.
Yep, he's only 28, which makes me about
29.
Oh yeah, because I'm the boomer, so I'm about. Never mind.
You know what? I probably won't get a perfect score. Because he told me to take the driving test and see if I get a perfect score.
Man, when's the last time you took a driving test?
I took the written test and I got 100. Remember I had to take a written test for some reason. They made me take it and I got 100. And nobody gets 100.
I haven't had to take a permit test since.
In Arizona, your driver's license lasts for 65 years.
I think the beard's gotten a little grayer. Sorry.
Oh, you know what? I use Just for Gray.
Isn't it called Just for Gray?
No, it's called Just for Gray. And by the way, I forgot to tell you, if you missed it, this is sponsored by Battle Shits. And you have to bring your own samples.
Ew. You're gross.
Thank you very much.
Arizona DMV test is probably different from California.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't know. I didn't have to take a test when I got here.
Well, one of my guy Kevin Beaver, he writes books about hacking for idiots. His son's a big fan. He's been watching for years. He took his driver test, and they sent me a video of it on YouTube. And the game is. I bet the game is made in San Francisco, and he passed.
Oh, damn! That's hella shady.
Oh man!
Wait, where was it made? Here, I'll see.
London.
It was not made in London.
Yeah, it was.
It was made in. I don't know that Zhejiang.
That's
China.
London.
China. It was made in China.
No, what's
here? Let me turn on the light.
Oh, you're right. No, wait. It says Upper Richmond Road.
Glasses
on. Look, Upper Richmond Road, London.
Made in.
But what's this?
That's probably where the company is based.
Okay.
But it was made in China.
Yeah, made in and where it was created as two different things. Everything's made in China, including the iPhone. which makes me wonder how's Apple going to do it if we shut down all of our stuff with iPhones?
Oh, you should have done the do not disturb.
Again?
Fail. You're wise to reside in AZ. You still have beachfront property after the big one.
Yeah, we're waiting for that beachfront property. We already got our window facing west. Anyway, so we want to chit chat. We're going to break this off in a few seconds because we got to finish our oatmeal, our chocolate chip cookies. Yes. I have a Hiwa phone.
Would you say Stanley's weakness is geography?
Yes. No.
No, I'm reading Felix's question.
No, my weakness is not geography. I'll never get lost twice. My weakness is remembering people's names.
Oh, and significant dates. He's really not good with significant dates. I'm just gonna end it right there.
You just really threw me under the bus right there. Huh?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
I just threw you under the table.
Yeah, and then you threw a bus over the table. Anyway, I'm Millennial.
I'm a boomer.
And we got to call it quits.
Why do you guys leave the ceiling fan in the room behind you?
Because we're circulating the air. And we know that it drives you crazy, Gabriel. So we turn it on
So let me just let you see it a little bit more then.
Yeah. Yeah, so what's going to happen? Oh, so the question is, what's going to happen when they shut down relationship with China? Where are we going to get our iPhones from?
Yeah, you need to put those dates in your iPhone calendar.
No, that makes your brain melt when you start using your calendar.
Well, you know what makes
How many people remember your phone number when you were younger, but now you can't remember what you did the day before?
I can remember all of those things.
Your old phone numbers?
Yep. Mm-hmm. I remember my old phone number, yes.
Yeah, but yet you can't remember what you did yesterday.
I remember what I did yesterday.
No, because you told me yesterday we didn't have sushi the other day, and we did.
I was like,
no, I'm just saying though.
I know what I did yesterday. That's okay. We need to insert a little bit more film there.
Of course you do, Bob Jones. You're like 5.
I'm only years old, and I still have my original phone number. Well, that's Gabriel. That's because you're like 15.
Wait. So he's 88 because that's when you push the ding button twice.
The asterisk button.
All right. So we got to go. Somebody's trying to call me, probably telling me to hang up, get off the air. We miss you guys. Oh wait, we haven't seen you. We may do the
video.
I'm working on a podcast, and if I do, you'll have more ways to see me, and we'll try to make it fun.
The podcast will be without me, though. Just FYI.
What?
Oh, you
quit?
You want to be in the podcast? I'm honored.
Good night.
I'm just kidding.
Good night.
Bye, guys. Have a good week. Stay safe. Take care.